experience to follow this from our publications perspective, just seeing the competition coming online and the opportunity that you've given to our country, and a very big thank you from the entire industry.
Well, that's where he saw it. It was your...
Yeah. And it's been brilliant to watch, and we're all excited. The whole industry can't wait to see this premiere. So very happy to be here, and thank you for the invite. Just my questions. Obviously, why Alan's script? What stood out for you, and what made it the South African winner?
I just thought Alan's script was hilarious. I thought it was a really clever idea, and I thought it would be a lot of fun. And we actually, at that point, didn't know which I was going to play.
Yeah.
Because he was like, well, you could play either the pirate or you could play the dentist.
Well, initially he wanted him to play both.
Okay.
But that would
add
just...
a third day to shooting.
And they would probably add more than a third.
Yeah.
And doubles and...
Yeah, exactly. So it was all of that, and also because in each of the cases of each person entering the contest, they had to do a video sort of presenting themselves, about how they would shoot the movie, and then submit some other things they'd done. So I also looked at some of the previous work that he'd done in his award-winning PSA, and all of that I just thought was this was a good choice.
So, Alan, I just wanted to ask you, what was it like working with Kevin? Did he match up to your cardboard cutout?
Yes.
By the way,
yeah. It was what I said earlier to somebody else was the you can freak out about it beforehand, but then it got to a point where it was just, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to do it. And Kevin made it very easy and you know, gave me a lot of ideas and a lot of suggestions and help, and it was great. It was a great collaboration.
What would you say is the biggest thing you're taking away from this?
There's a lot of lessons I learned on this. Very simply, one of the first questions Kevin asked me was, what was the tone of the script? And it's one of those things that I'd never considered, and I had to wing it on the spot. and subsequently, I've realized how important that is to know, and you know, on the projects I'm working on now, how vital just that understanding. If you've got that pegged, everything kind of falls into place a little bit.
When everyone is together on that, he's right, things do fall into place. When people are sort of having their own strangely odd, different views of that, then that's when you can watch a movie that feels inconsistent in its tone, or it doesn't know what its tone is. And so that was, in fact, one of the first questions that we talked about when we started. It's always for me. I always try to put myself in the place where my job in a film is to serve the director. I don't believe film is the actor's medium. I think it's the director's medium, and so I've always tried in my experiences working with directors to put myself in their hands, to trust them entirely and completely. Sometimes that works to your advantage if you have a director whose sensibility and tone is really good, and sometimes that works to your disadvantage if you have a director who's overly sentimental or only chooses work in takes that you did that just doesn't serve the story. But with Alan, we had a really nice time. He was very clear about what he wanted, and you know, it's that thing where you're trying to make something funny but not outrageously out of the world, and keep it within a certain frame, and I think he did that quite successfully, you know, and you can tell when you see the movie cut together and it completed that he really found the humor and the tall tale, the mandate that we had initially set up. He did a really wonderful job.
What are you hoping to achieve with this competition?
I hope two things. That more people in the industry start thinking about their responsibility to giving opportunities to emerging talents, that people stop being so insular and really broaden their view about where talent is, because it isn't necessarily being represented at all the big agencies. You know, there's talent all over the world in a lot of places. So we love the fact that we've been able to tap into that over this past decade with TriggerShoot.com. It's about where he goes. It's about how this affects his life and his opportunity, and others, even the people that you know entered the competition and didn't win this year. Maybe being in it, maybe being able to see what Alan did and what we did with the 3 films will inspire them to come and try again next year.
A lot of people too that we've even noticed on Triggershoot.com is a site that we started 10 years ago that was for aspiring filmmakers and writers, had never read a screenplay or wrote a screenplay in their lives, and now are doing it quite often. And so I think people will see this that may have entered or looked at it and actually give it a shot of making a short film or writing a screenplay or writing a short.
We had a lot of people waking up at the last minute. All of a sudden the entry's closed, sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's somebody that we probably won't want to pick, because if they're procrastinating that long, they're not going to be a very good filmmaker. No. Might be a good writer, but not a good filmmaker.
Do you have any plans to work with any of the Jameson First Shot winners after this, Kevin and Dana?
I mean, who knows? There's no plans right now, but we found while we were doing this, just talking about Triggershoot.com, that our editor was a winner from one of our earlier competitions, like in 2002 or 2003.
We found out later. I certainly hope that these 3 filmmakers will consider me, and you know, if they have a script that they want me to look at down the line, I'd be happy to, because we now have a relationship. But for more than that, I really hope that all of them get the opportunities that they deserve, and I hope tonight will be the launch of that.
Aye! Are you Bob?
Yes, Dr. Robert Midling.
Right you are. I be Bob too. First mate Bob, and don't be forgetting it. Here. And I be first.
Bob, how do you feel about needles?